Hello and welcome to episode 30 of A Dose of Sinsanity. I am GR3, joined by Welshie and Jamokin. How are we doing, fellas?
Episode 30. Woo!
No, I'm cold. If I'm being honest, I'm cold.
It's 85 degrees here, man.
I was going to say, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood down here in Pittsburgh.
However, it is supposed to drop to 30 tomorrow. So, fun things.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yeah, so what have we been up to recently?
Oh, I'm going back through my dry spell of Dark and Darker, so I'm all sad and mopey.
Yeah, but we have a new game.
We do. PUBG,
yeah. Which is fun because it's kind of like an origin story in a way with me and you, Welshie. So, yeah, we talked about this briefly, I think like episode 1 or 2 or something. For those of you who haven't caught up on that. So one of the ways that me and Welshie met was through BJack, or BJack Honeydew. I met in a PUBG match. Now we just happened to be on the same team, whatever, played a whole bunch together, and we're like, oh yeah, you like Dota? Yeah. So we just start playing Dota. But recently, we started going back to it. Like I said, we're kind of on a dry spell. We don't really have Dark and Darker anymore, so we have PUBG now. It's kind of been a good time. It's a nice little like reset sometimes from Dota and kind of breaking up the pattern. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
for sure.
I definitely feel that, especially when you're a few months into the grind, like you've been going hard, and you just need something to like reset, or you're having a bad day and you're just like tilting off the face of the earth, and like it's miserable outside right now. It's like 25 Fahrenheit. Snowing, windy, and cold, so it's like I can't go touch snow. It's pretty miserable. So it's nice to just find something to help you reset.
Yeah, when Dota's rough and you're losing games because apparently cabin crawl is a thing right now in your ranked games, it's nice to experience the nice reset of PUBG, of trying to race the circle across the entire map for about 15 minutes of driving on a motorcycle, getting shot at, dodging things, and then dying because driving through 2 red zones just to flip the bike and die when you get into the zones.
That was so tragic, dude. That was so tragic.
Oh, dude, this purple zone? Nah. You can be inside a building and live. Nah, there's no problem.
Are we safe in this purple? Yeah.
Oh man,
we die. Final 6. That was
rediscovering that game has been a lot of fun, though, for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Weirdly enough, for anybody who doesn't know, by the way, they have a Worlds, like they have their own internet, like their own little mini PUBG TI that's sponsored by McLaren for no reason, like whatsoever. So we just came back, and it's just the beginning of every match, a literal McLaren just drops from a cargo like container, and it's just like. All right,
a bunch of clowns driving this thing around on a little bitty island. Freaking
the soccer balls, here, dude.
Oh, the soccer balls are phenomenal.
They're the best.
Assholes kicking them into the ocean so you can't play with them. But yeah, like, so they got Worlds going on. We just finished TI, and it's just like, it's cool to see the different games in these huge tournaments going on, and just like that 99.9% like tile. You know what I mean? Like these top tier players and teams going at it for millions of dollars and the chances. And like you think about it, and the amount of pressure that is on you, and I don't you like to say like, oh, they're used to it. Like they're on top. Like they're constantly going to these tournaments and competing with the same people, even in pubs and all this stuff. But there's something different, right? About actually being there and competing in these tournaments and being at TI and walking onto the main stage and all these people, and knowing that every single game that you play is a difference between thousands and thousands and even millions of dollars just on the result of one game. It's the amount of pressure that they feel and the amount of just mental fortitude that they actually have to have.
Oh, yeah.
And as we know, there's been a trend over the last few years where teams are understanding this, that they're getting onto the big stage. Millions of dollars are at risk, and investments are being made in order to really focus on that area and just the mental of that. And the reason why I bring this up is Daniel Abrams was hired by team or Tundra Esports rather, to work with them, and he recently threw out a tweet stating kind of about what they did. And if you don't know, Daniel Abrams is the author of a couple books within sports psychology, few in golf, few in soccer. And
Yeah,
really
his
just
education is in sports psychology.
yes, sports psychology is consultant, author, whatever. But he came on to Tundra, and basically they had an issue, right? Like they were a good team, and they had been a good team all season long, but they were choke artists once they got onto the main stage.
Oh yeah,
And that was a big issue that they saw and noticed. And they thought, okay, how do we go about this? How do we really get the mental aspect of the game so that when they come in, they're ready to go. Like this is just another pub. Any other practices, it's the same. And they can go on and they can perform and basically stop choking, which I don't know about you guys. I think whatever the hell they did worked. Yes. Might have. Yeah.
I mean, the most dominant team there.
Not even close.
Like, just
like not even close. Just
they're
better,
on another
right?
level. Yeah, they're just on another level.
And it seems to be a trend that we kind of see, right? Like there's been a couple TIs, like OG and TI9, right? Like just fucking better. Wings Gaming, just better. And then you put Tundra in this, just better. Like, you know what I mean?
oh yeah.
Like it was them and then everybody else. But going back to Daniel Abrams, he released a tweet stating what they actually did. And they worked on this biopsychosocial model, which for those of you don't really know what that refers to. So breaking down the word, so bio is like physiological pathology, psycho, thoughts, emotions, behaviors. Social is your social, economical, or environmental, cultural factors. So basically the idea of what they wanted to do, like actually what this is originally used for was chronic pain. But what they're using it for is a breakdown of not just the way that they interact with each other, not just their mental fortitude, but actually like their mindset in the way that they go about things as a whole, body and all kind of structure. And what they did was they created 5 pillars. And Daniel Abrams breaks this down, which I find super interesting because like this isn't like copyrighted work. Like this is work that he's done for the last 6 months and while working with the team. And he's just like, here. You know what I mean? Like he didn't write this in a book, at least not to my knowledge. Like he's not like when he posted the thread, he's not selling something. He's like, there's a little bit of selling himself, right? Like the idea of, hey, this is what we did. This is my success. Hire me for more things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course.
But he just put this out there, which I think is really cool because it does help people and help teams who want to break down what they did and adapt it to their own and really understand, okay, what is the most dominant team this year at TI? What was their mental game? How did they go about it? How did they train? What did they do that actually made them successful? And whilst me and you were talking beforehand, I'll let you kind of elaborate on it a little bit, but when you break it down, these players are no better than any other players individually, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's the same thing that we were talking about, like you said, is no player is ridiculously more skilled than the other at this bracket, right? Like they're all at the top 0.01% or whatever you want to break it down to of Dota players in the world. And so they're all the same skill level theoretically. They're all the same. They all deserve to be here. they all practice the same. And what do you do to put you ahead? And the simplicity of it is you have to just get more out of practices. You have to be getting more out of each individual, having more cohesion, working more, just that kind of thing.
Hello?
I believe your mic just kind of floated away from you.
Sorry about that. I had to turn around real quick.
Through the skies.
The point is you have to get more out of your cohesion, more out of your practices. You have to be developing skills, not just, we'll show up and play some games together and just figure out our whole game strategy off of that. Like, no, you have to work together.
It's the idea of being the best team.
Yes.
Because when everyone is here, they're all the same skill. But how can we separate ourselves from everybody else? And these 5 pillars that they work through, and we'll kind of break them down and explain what they are and what he was explaining, and kind of our thoughts on each of the things and our take on it. But these pillars were their pillars of what they wanted to go about and how they were going to be the best team there. Their first one was leadership. So the first thing that they wanted to state is around leadership is they wanted clarity around strategy and process. So it wasn't like maybe like my 82L games. When I was captain, I would say, okay, I want to play fast. I want to hit this bit, whatever bullshit broad strategy that I wanted to do at the time. What they wanted to do is they wanted every single person to have a very clear idea of what are we trying to do? How are we actually going to accomplish this? Why are we going to do it in this particular way? And I really appreciate the why are we going to do it, because you can understand and say like, oh, well, we're going to go take the T1 objective, and we're going to do it with Nature's Prophet, Enigma, Lone Druid, and like any other whatever. Okay, but why are we going to do it in this fashion? And understanding the full idea behind it and the full reasoning and having every single person understand to a high level of why you do this makes everyone so clear. And one of the bigger examples I can give was PSGS way back when ran this Juggernaut DK Tide Hunter type strategy where you guys fully understood exactly how to run this, why this worked, what you were planning on doing, the timing that you needed. Maybe sometimes not the items, because rushing a heart sometimes is weird on a
yeah.
But like you get what I mean. Like the idea of
once we ironed all the kinks out, it was unstoppable, really.
In that cohesion, right? And like I shouldn't even say cohesion, the understanding, like it was clear when you guys were playing.
Yeah. So like looking at these 5 pillars, these were always something that I was aware of. And obviously when it comes to amateur Dota, especially, we were 3K at the time, you can't just be like, I want to go like all in super hard at this. Like I'm not paying these guys. Guys are just trying to have fun. So like I was definitely trying to balance it. But this first pillar, this leadership pillar, I think is, if it was in a pyramid, it would be the base. Like you need this because without this,
you have nothing else.
Next to values, like there's not. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Next to values, it won't matter.
Yeah, see, for me, so value was the highest. Go ahead.
I mean, we can all have great values, but if we don't know what we're doing, it doesn't
fair.
So
at least if we all know what we're doing and we have like good values, even if we're not at the best mindset or we don't practice that much, at least if we all understand what we're doing, like we're probably going to execute better than people at our level.
Mm-hmm. Put a pause to this real quick and explain. So the 5 pillars is leadership, then structure, values/behaviors, deliberate practice, and high performance mindset. I feel like I didn't say that before. So before you guys kind of talked about the values and all that stuff before, I wanted to clear that up. But yeah, I would agree as well, Jamokin. the understanding of why you're doing it and the clarity of everything, I believe, like, is the base. I believe
that was the DK strat through and through. The reason we
believe,
won season 32.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we had really high ranked players. We were super strong, but like that strat was just unbeatable. You knew it was coming, but it didn't matter because we knew what we were doing, and you just had a theory on how to play against it. Maybe you scrimmed it 2 times, but like we didn't care. We had it through and through. We knew the timings we were going to hit, what builds people were going to do, what the items did, what their jobs were. I mean, hell, Jug was there for healing ward. Y'all thinking he's the carry? I'm just healing, man. I'm like, damage and healing. You just sit behind DK, let him hit towers. You guys commit hard. Tidehunter uses Ravage. Like you all die. Like, it was so well thought out, and everybody always knew exactly what to do at any given time. Like, it just makes Dota into an art. And that's just something you can't get from pubs. No matter how high up you go.
The next part is the one that kind of fascinates me the most about this this pillar. So it states the coach and the captain lead with clear instructions for final decisions. Leadership is not leadership if strategy, tactics, process aren't delivered in a clear, concise, and confident manner. I feel like this is something, especially in 82L, that really gets overlooked by captains. So when you are trying to say this is a strategy or this is what we're trying to do, and everyone doesn't understand, and once again, it goes back to why are we going to do it this way? The understanding type. And you're not delivering it clearly, then you completely lose all of this idea. You're not being a captain if you're not trying to, or you're not making everyone understand and almost teaching the way that you want to play Dota. And along with teaching is not say, well, I want to do this and this, so this is we're going to do it. No, it's, once again, it goes back to the clarity around strategy and process. What are we trying to do? How are we going to do it? And why are we doing it this way? Why does it work? And having everyone understand and be confident about it. Because if you're not confident when you deliver, then no one's going to trust it anyways. And then you start playing a very half-assed kind of deal where it's like, I know I should do this, but I don't really believe in it. And my captain doesn't really seem like he really believes in it.
I'm just going along with the ride of whatever everyone else wants. Yep.
I remember, I have actually a really good example for this. One of our last seasons of PSGS, probably the season before the last season, we were in a playoff game. It was like game 3. It's like 60 minutes. We're struggling to like crack this high ground, and you know, I'm making calls and they're like half working, half not working. Like the game's in a stalemate, but they're pinned on their high ground. And eventually I made a call, and like he's like, after the game, I made a call, and like he's like, you know, I wasn't confident in the call, but I was confident, like I trusted you and I had like faith in you, and like it worked out at the end of the day. But he's like, if it was somebody else that said that, he's like, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
And so like making sure like you're calling out confident, even if your teammates start to waver, as long as they have that confidence in you, it works. But as soon as like people don't trust and they don't believe in it, like you guys are saying, it,
I don't believe in myself,
nothing,
but
right?
I believe in you who believes in me. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just doesn't, like it falls apart if people don't believe in it. 100%.
Yep. The next pillar is structure. So this one is more kind of geared, I believe, around the LAN aspect. But even so, like just live like in the houses and stuff like that. The first part is develop a daily routine. Understand, like go into, come again?
I wouldn't necessarily say you could do this in 82L. I don't think it'd be.
No. I'm saying the full structure, like as a whole, with everything together. We'll get to the different pieces. But yes, you're correct. Develop a daily routine absolutely translates not just to the houses and pros and stuff like that. It's really, really good for those who like in 82L and things like that. But the idea, like at least from what I grabbed from it, was you wake up, you do something like pretty much similar, whether it be like for me, I wake up and I stretch every day because I got an old man back and it fucking hurts. Go get coffee, sit and do a little bit of PSGS invitational work. Holla holla, shout out, shout out.
Shout out.
And then once I'm done with my coffee, then I start getting my games before work. I go to work, I come home, do whatever I need to do, and if I got time for an extra couple games, but I'm playing every single day around the same times. And you get in the idea of, okay, this is what it's going to look like. This is the feel that I'm going to have in each thing. Does that, like, how do you guys kind of develop daily routine?
I think you're hitting the nail pretty well in the head. This was something I put lots of thought into. I never implemented it on my teams because I didn't think I could get buy-in for it, enough buy-in as I thought it would be worth it. But like, the daily routine is really important. I think developing training blocks for yourself and your players to do it for themselves is like super important. So you have like your A days, your B days, your C days. And so like, let's say A days would be a lot of like team practice, scrims, 5-mans, whatever. B days would be like a lot of solo grinding, working on mechanical skills, stuff like that. And your C days could be like more chill. You're not playing. It's like watching more film, studying your replays, that kind of stuff.
So like, something you mentioned very specifically as well is the idea that pro Dota players specifically are very, especially when it comes to like this kind of timing, is they're very much like all uptime, no down. So I think that the idea of building in that time was important. And just to talk about kind of comparing it to the 82L lifestyle and your buy-in idea is just at this level, you can get that kind of buy-in where it's like, hey, we are literally going to be living and breathing, all 5 of us together. We will take shits together if we have to bond enough. But like we have to have a cohesion of what we're doing. And we're going to have time not only when we're playing Dota together, but when we're spending time together outside of Dota. And it's the idea of, what is it? Over practice and under rest is just the worst part. So to do that, to decrease burnout is one of the biggest things he said is decrease burnout, increase cohesion, right? The idea that if I just do nothing but play Dota with you all day, every day for 12 hours a day or 15 hours a day, at some point, I'm just going to hate playing Dota with you or something along those means, right? Like you just become this bot that I'm playing with that is in every one of my games that wards in the same places and does the same shit and makes the same mistakes and pisses me off. And you're not, my lane partner who I like playing games with, right?
Yeah, it's
long-time listeners will have also heard us talk about this in some of our earlier episodes as well. So this is kind of a revisit to previous topics, kind of, which is fun.
Yeah, and it kind of goes into what we were talking about, just kind of in our introduction there, where like you grind for a couple months and then you need this time to reset. A lot of the times for the 82L community, the way that looks is you grind during the season, it gets long, you try not to burn out. Some teams do, some teams don't. There's challenges through each and every team's season. But there's that time, usually like between seasons, where it's like, okay, just fucking reset. Don't just immediately start jumping into scrims. Don't immediately start going, oh, well, I need more strategies for the next season and all this stuff. Like, reset yourself. For us, it's been PUBG, and it's been dark and darker. And it's just something where we're not looking like, don't get me wrong, like since the season ended, I've gone up almost full metal of MMR. Like, I'm still grinding. And I'm still trying to get better at the game. But I'm not killing myself in the idea of I need to practice this hero. I need to practice this role. It's, okay, like today's rough. I'm going to go play some PUBG with the boys. And what it does is it clears your mind, resets yourself. But when you do things with your team and players that are on your team and your boys, then it creates that cohesion. So now I am spending the time together with my team. I'm getting my rest away from the game, and I'm not over practicing. So I'm staying in a top form. I'm working my way in order to eliminate any sort of burnout that's in my system. So I'm excited to go when the time comes. but at the same time, I'm not overworking myself when I do have to downtime.
Yeah. Which is what is it? It's one of my favorite quotes, oddly enough, from The Witcher, which is stupid to say, but it was a scene that was one of the first ones from The Witcher 3, and it's basically talking about this girl who's practicing her sword work by herself, and the teacher says, practicing by herself only reinforces bad habits. Right? Like, practicing by herself only reinforces bad habits, which goes to the same thing of anybody who plays Dota and just says, I'm going to get better by just playing shit tons of Dota. That's what's going to make me better. It's just factually wrong. It's again the whole thing of better practices, right? Like if you're not actively trying to practice, you need to be challenged. You need to actively practice different habits. Even if it's just, I watched a YouTube video about, for shit's sake, it's Speed's 150th video of this broken tactic in Dota that's going to gain you 1,000 MMR. And you just try to apply it. Like it's still something that's worth trying, and you're trying to apply a mechanic, not just grind and reinforce your own shitty play more and more and more.
Right. And we'll kind of touch on that in the fourth pillar as well a little bit more. So the third pillar is values and behaviors. So this is the one where Welshie stated that he believes that this is one of the top ones. And honestly, when I look at the pillars, I'm not looking at this as a pyramid. I'm looking.
Well, no, it's not.
And when you state pillars, it's 5, or in this case 5, but your core values that hold up the base. These are all your base. But this one is values, behaviors. So the first part of this is just creating team values, a consistency in behavior, environment, and culture. It's what we do and what we say. So, for example, like one of the things that we've done in through Pot Agreed is no all chat. And it's something where I don't want to create a distraction. We're not going to have distractions outside the game. Our focus is going to be on the game. We've heard Jamokin speak about like eliminating outside things, eliminating the small talk, the amount of things that you say have to have specific meetings or meanings, otherwise clear comms, make sure everything's precise. But you behave in a specific way and you create this environment so you know that this is our value. This is the way that this is our constant in a way. And we're going to create this in every single game, and it's not going to change because consistency is what creates winners. Is you can be great at the beginning. Let's look at OG. Great at the beginning, shit through most of the season. Great in the beginning of TI in the group stage, shit towards the end. Consistency creates champions, and that's honestly something that's always going to remain true. You can never look at a team and say, well, they have been up and down and all this through the entire tournament and somehow win. No, you can't be up and down. It's always got to be up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, unless it's football where you only have to just win one stupid game and suddenly you're the best.
You gotta win stupid. Like 4.
But in real games of skill where you have to be consistent, I agree. I'll take any opportunity to take a shot at your love for football.
Yeah, hockey's no different when you play a series of 7 games where you can lose 3 because you're shit and you just have to be getting 4. But that's consistency.
Yeah.
Anyways, good old hockey. The other bit is designed for a sense of repetition, respect, and healthy debate, talking about the hard shit in a healthy way. And I love this. So there's going to be times when you have to tell, like, say I'm talking to Welshie, who's been my lane partner for a long, long time. Miss you, buddy. Welshie, you're doing a really shitty job at coming over and helping me get the pulls. If they're contesting play in this specific area so that we can... Yeah, so that we can... honestly, it is compliment sandwich. So, like... But creating a environment and understanding, and it's almost respect in a way too, like where you have to respect those that are around you. And in the same sense of like, not just like, I respect him, so like I can give him the like specific details. We got to respect the other person, actually take to heart what they're saying and then communicate. Okay, I'm shit, but why am I shit? how can I do this better? Create a positive way in order to improve the game when somebody sees something. Because, like you guys were saying, if I do the same thing over and over and I'm the only one that's going to be looking at it, then I'm just going to keep committing the same mistakes every single time. I need an outside person or an outside source to tell me what the hell am I doing wrong. And everyone's going to have a different opinion on this. And then you take those, you talk about it, you figure out, okay, what is the best way in order to fix these errors, and how can we create like a specific point of like, I always thought the Mean Welshie were the best lane duo in the league that we ever played in. Period. I'm like, I just fully believe that. But how can I take that and then, instead of making a debate, make it a unanimous thing? How can we be more dominant when I feel like we're already dominant? How can we take it to the next level? And that's going to be, how can we speak about this in a, like, our issues or things that we may do poorly in a positive manner.
Yeah, and for me, something that I still do to this day, and I think it's really important, and it goes back to the analogy Welshie had, and you re-brought it up, but having somebody there to call you out, but not only that, to challenge you in your thinking. Dota, there's usually not a correct answer, right? The game's very fluid. There's lots of things. Yeah, there's tons of things happening at any given time. And so somebody makes a call, and you have to be able to go back and be able to discuss what you were thinking. And obviously, like he does say, like, make sure it's a healthy debate, but like, don't be afraid to push me on my thinking. Like, I want you to completely break down the way I view the situation so that I can learn. And in the same sense, I will be pushing you on your way. And the only thing we can stand to do is learn, assuming we don't let our feelings get in the way of it.
And here's the biggest thing is when you're taking that, and this is always the biggest, I don't want to say piss off, but it is a piss off. When you go to communicate something with somebody and the instant reaction is, yeah, but. That right there basically says, I'm not open to your thoughts. I'm not open there. You have to be open. And you can discuss, and there's no downfall. There's absolutely no downfall to stating, this is what I saw. This is the reason why I did this. What do you like? And then somebody says, well, if you did this, here are the other options. I mean, it's essentially coaching. It's like you hire a coach and they're significantly higher MMR. When you guys started being coached by Skull Candy, what like average on your team was what, 3,000 at least MMR below the next person, right? Or maybe even 4,000 difference. Like, was there any point where you ever thought, I'm hiring this guy to teach me, but he tells me something, and the first thing I'm going to say is, yeah, but this. You don't challenge. You have to listen. You have to take the things that people say.
I no, not necessarily. Like, well, of course, but again, like I push back. You can't close. No, never.
That's my point. Is you can't.
Yeah,
close
no,
it
absolutely. Off. You can't do the.
You can discuss. But. You cannot close it off.
At the very least, you can't like just what's the word I'm looking for? Discount them because you're like, well, what does this person know? This person doesn't know what they're saying. They're just covering for
rank checking. Yeah, dude. Even if it's a lower rank, like, just don't rank check, man. I've learned stuff from people much lower MMR than me. Yeah. Don't know something about a hero, I just don't know.
Yeah.
A way an interaction works, like there's so much stuff. I don't know everything.
There's too much in Dota. There's just too fucking much.
I like again, like sometimes people do what I consider the dumb shit, and it works. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, I'm wrong, and then you're trying to figure out where you went wrong,
or understand why it works. Going back to leadership, why is this working? Understanding, you know what I mean? The next pillars in Jambo, you're gonna love this. Deliberate practice. Every practice session is meant for effortful attention, specific objectives, and enveloped in specific feedback. And the best thing, so he actually took this from somebody else, but and I'll try to quote this the way that he did. So what he says, he borrowed work from Anders Ericsson, and he stated, quote unquote, "We decided to practice better than everybody else in this space." basically every time that they went out and they practiced, they said that we're going to do this better. Period. No one else is going to practice better than we are. And I fucking love it.
This gets me so giddy. Like, oh,
yes.
Fuck, dude, this is what I love right here. Like, oh, man, I am telling you, practice isn't just mindlessly playing Dota. It is not. It is so draining to truly practice Dota when you are giving everything you have. It is exhausting. You finish the game and you're like, holy fuck, I need a glass of water. And when you're with the team, there's so much going on, and like everybody has to be giving in full effort. Like your teammates deserve the best version of you. Like it has to be done. There is no excuse. I love this so much. Oh,
there's a thing where I was scrimming with a team that's not mine. But I was scrimming with the team I was standing in, and the idea that was stated was, well, this team is significantly lower in MMR than us. We're going to dick around. Fucking why? What are you going to get out of that? Like, I don't care if you're an immortal stack facing heralds. You have, like, there's always something out of every single practice that you can get out of it. And you have to state, okay, like, if there's a huge MMR gap and you know that you're going to win no matter what the draft is, what you need to be doing is either A, say, this is a draft idea that I'm having and like a game plan. We're going to work on the execution. Yes, it's not going to have as much like, there's not going to be, what is the correct term? Basically, like, they're not going to be pushing back as hard as like a team of similar MMR or better. But we can still iron out and kind of do a run through. It's like when I'm a big football guy, obviously. So on a Thursday night, or Thursday before a Friday night game, I'm going to go through a walkthrough. And there's a reason for the walkthrough. You don't just do it just because whatever. Like, you're doing this stuff on air to make sure everything is ironed out and everything is operating properly. If it can't operate properly without much resistance, then how is it going to operate at all when resistance exists, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or why go into a game saying, I'm not going to try? It doesn't make sense. I'm going to go into a game and I'm going to have complete focus.
It's
and
more
I'm gonna
detrimental.
Play. Yes. Because you're right. It hurts you more if you don't try than if you just straight up didn't play the game at all.
For real. Absolutely. You would absolutely, your team would be better off. You would be better off if you guys just didn't play that game instead of all showing up and not trying.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
I mean, why? Like, you need to practice the way that you're going to play, and that's like such a cliche. But in all honesty, like, if you're not, then what the hell are you doing? You're wasting your time working everyone else's.
Well, it's not a practice then, is it?
It's not. It's dicking around time, and which there's time for that. There is that's the rest period. But when you do practice, there has to be goals, and when you don't have goals, when you have goals, you have to give absolute focus, because the other thing is you're slapping your captain in the face who sets these goals. Now, if your captain is the one saying, hey, I have no goals, let's just dick around and waste everybody's time, then maybe you have a captain issue. But there has to be, like, you have to be deliberate when you practice. And like the thing I believe we talked about, or well, she brought it up beforehand at the beginning of this podcast, there's not much that separates these players individually, right? Like, they're all in the top like 0.5% or 0.1% of every single player in Dota across the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
These are the best players. And how do you take that and state, well, we're going to be a better team, right? And the best way to describe it, and this is stated in about every single sport competitive nature that I've ever even heard of, is we have to work harder. The team that works the hardest on an even playing field is typically the team that's going to win. Sometimes unforeseen things happen. That's okay. But you have to set yourself up to win. And if you're not practicing diligently, then you're not even setting yourself up to win. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
also, I also want to say you do have to be practicing smart, because again, you could practice all the shit in the world, but if you're just burning out and it's not very structured, it doesn't matter. But I do agree with the sentiment.
And that brings us to the last pillar, which is high performance mindsets. So basically, you become accomplished at noticing a drop to low performance. You're paying attention and dealing with distractions. You're not dropping too low or too high in different scenarios when dealing with intensity. And you execute decisions with a positive intent. To break this down, essentially, you're noticing when you're doing something wrong. It's not just like after the game I watch the replay and I'm like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done this, or I had this option, this option. No, it's while you're playing, even if something's positive, what could have made this better? For example, in a scrim that we just had, one of the notes that I had about myself directly after was, I need to be dropping better wards during team fights. We had a fight that we won. I think we lost I think we just lost me, and then we team wiped them. But had I placed a high ground ward instead of a low ground, then we win the fight, and nobody dies. And it's things of noticing, like as it happens, or like even in a positive outcome. What did I do that dropped to a low performance? Pay attention to that and understand what's going on. And then the other bit, which I really like, is about intensity, not getting too high or too low. If you're just constantly one of the ways I always describe this is being too tight or too loose butthole. You know what I mean? Like when you're just squeezing everything, you're super focused, like you're super intense, like you're just so tight everywhere. Like it's hard to play in that. But in the same sense, when you're too loose and you're like, whatever like happens can happen, you lose focus and things like that. You don't want to drop there. Like there's a sweet spot that you have to stay in between, and being able to keep that mindset and keep on that level playing field and that level like mindset through competition, especially going through TI as we're talking about Tundra. It's incredibly important. Anything else to add?
I mean, that's pretty obvious, isn't it? Like the idea of just high performance mindsets and the idea that you have to be setting yourself apart from the others there, I think is just natural. The idea being that you have to be... Yes, but people
don't do it.
Yeah, the idea being that you have to like... I mean, everybody knows way too many people who like the moment that they start losing a Dota game, they get mad or like they're absolutely pissed and thrown off for every other game following because they lost one game. And also the ones who are just like, I don't care. I'm not trying to improve. I mean, shit, I feel like I'm in that mindset right now. I don't really care to improve. I'm just playing the game, man.
Yeah, but at least you don't play the game when you feel like that. What's with my pub mates? They don't care. Stop playing. Like, don't play.
Go do something else.
I don't want you in my game.
Playing cavern crawl in rank matches, like the very definition of this, yeah.
God.
The very definition of what we're talking about here today.
Help me.
It's so...
Which is exactly why I think that, I mean, Slack was right about that. Remove cavern crawl from ranked. Like, I don't even care if you have it available, don't do it. And if you play it, doesn't count.
I agree. I mean, to kind of wrap up this part, like, these 5 pillars are so fascinating. And I feel like when somebody looks at this, and it's like, well, of course. You know what I mean? Of course, when you're a captain, you have to be precise and make sure everyone understands what you're doing. Of course, you have to create a set of team values. Of course, you have to have like a routine and all this stuff, and you have to be deliberate when you practice, and you have to have a good mindset. But putting that into practice and actually doing this, keep in mind, Daniel Abrams worked with Tundra for 6 months, and they had a lot of failures through that until they got to TI, but they built on it. And there's a bit of being open and understanding and really working, being patient. And one of the guys right now are coining, it's about stamina and understanding, like, it will take time, be patient, allow the process to really just go and be about the process in a way. And like I said, be patient with it. It will come if you're accepting of it. If you buy into what you're trying to do and these 5 pillars like Tundra did, success will come. It does take time. but you have to basically restructure your entire mindset of this is the way that we're going to play. But Jambo, you have a game for us, a little bit of trivia action. We've been enjoying that the last couple of weeks. So you said you got a couple questions?
Oh, yeah, dude, of course.
Or at least one?
Of course. I have at least a question, and it's
Nice.
a fun one.
What is that question?
In Dota 2, item sharing is a mechanic. What items are completely shareable, and what are their names?
Tango, Mango, Clarity, Observer Ward, Sentry Ward,
all of those, Perseverance and Voidstone.
I thought they patched that.
They might have. I'm still going to take my shot, though.
Do you guys have anything else? What items can I have and I can just give to another hero and they can use?
Not neutrals, right? We're not counting neutrals here.
Not neutrals.
Okay. And they can just use.
Yep.
Wards, Tango, Mango. Can you give it? Well, technically, you don't give the item a mango. You give mana and consume the mango.
Yeah, same with the Clarity, though.
Yeah, true. And a salve.
And a salve.
What else is there?
Come on, guys. Come on.
Is there more?
Divine Rapier?
Oh, yeah.
Divine Rapier?
You can give
completely
that.
shareable
Aghanim's?
items.
Aghanim Scepter, technically?
Scepter, Moonshard. Moonshard's one of them.
Oh, yeah, Moonshard. Shit.
If you're Alchemist, yeah, you're right. Ags. Used to be Aghanim Shard, but they patched that.
Can't you still get one?
Oh, yeah. You can get one, and you can give it over. Refresher Shard.
Mm-hmm.
Shard,
come on, there's some basic fucks. You guys are... Yeah, that's another one. Come on. There's some basic
Is there this many
items
that you can share?
What helps you find those invulnerabilities, heroes?
Bottle.
Bottle is a thing.
Used to be TP, but I'm not really sure that you can do that anymore.
I don't think you can. Oh, Gem. What about Gemma? You can give Gemma.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's it. That's all I got.
Come on, really? That's all you guys got?
Wait a minute. Is it literally if I buy it and I give it to you, you
Shadow
can use
Amulet?
it?
Shadow Amulet, maybe?
No. Wait, literally if I buy it, you can use it? Like that kind of thing?
Yep.
Oh, then Dust and Smoke. Dust and Smoke.
Yep, yeah. They're the ones I was looking for.
Oh,
Thank
Jesus.
you. All right.
Let's full list.
Wait, what are the 4 partially shareable items?
What the fuck?
And I'll settle for 3 because the 4th one's weird.
What do you mean partially?
There's got to be a hang up to
they can be given, but can't always be given.
Oh, Divine's on that. You can't just give free Divine.
Yeah, Divine's on that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Refresher, if you count the Refresher Shard. Agnum's, or Ag's Blessing. Ag Shard.
I'm looking
bottle,
for 3
bottle charges?
You're still giving the whole item.
Well, bottle technically is true because can't you not do it whenever there's a... Technically that's true because if there's a rune in it, you can't do it, right?
There's one more item.
I got
Shadow Amulet? I don't know.
All right. Do you guys want the partial list or the complete list first?
Complete list first.
Cheese, Tango, Shared,
I forgot about
Tome of
Cheese.
Knowledge.
I forgot Tome.
Yeah, Tome too.
Observer and Sentry Wards. Aghanim Shard, Roche. Aghanim Blessing, Roche. Refresher Shard, Smoke, and Dust. Are the 9 completely shareable items.
Interesting.
Partially.
The 4 partial shareable items are Town Portal Scroll. TP scrolls can be dropped only through the main inventory, which is only possible via the courier or buying it and dropping it from your stash. Bottles contain ruins cannot be dropped, but can be given to teammates when there's no rune in the bottle. Okay. And the rapier.
So you can share TP scrolls provided it's never entered your inventory, basically, right?
Would you? Well, no. You said bottle charges.
Yeah, whatever.
Ben said
yeah,
waffle.
Tomato.
No, it's different. And then Gem of True Sight. And I'm not sure why it considers Gem of True Sight a partially shareable item. Pretty sure you can just hand a gem.
You can just hand that shit over, can't you?
Yeah.
That's just free to do. Interesting.
And that is phase 1 of our trivia questions. Will I find another fun question? Actually, I have a fun question.
Okay.
What time do neutral items drops and their corresponding tier?
7 for 1.
14 for the next. 15.
14. 27 for 3.
35 for 4. No,
it's 47, yeah. I think. Maybe 43? No, 47 I want to say for 4. And then 1
60.
hour for 5.
For
so 7 minutes.
It's not 47. It's 37 for tier 4.
7 minutes, 17 minutes, 27 minutes, 37 minutes. It says 36:40. I'm going to assume it's supposed to be 37 minutes and then 60 minutes. Do you know the turbo times?
Fuck no.
God.
It's turbo.
Good. Thank God. I was going to be a little upset if one of you knew the answer to that because we don't play turbo here.
Nor do we care about the answer to that one.
Speaking of odd timings, let me just open up about something that's always bothered me about Dota. Have you guys noticed that the longer on in the game you go, the more seconds it's off that nighttime kicks into daytime? Like, it's not every 5 minutes. At some point it becomes like, it goes like 45 and 10 seconds, and it pisses me the fuck off. As a Night Stalker player, it's the worst.
I don't know if I ever noticed that, honestly.
Not a true Night Stalker player, but yes, exactly. It's very strange. One of the things that bothered me about Dota.
Let's talk about the Battle Pass, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Or
Dire Tide.
Or does Hero have one more?
Whoa, I have one more question.
Whoa.
It's about the new hero of Dota.
Oh, God.
Huerta.
What item from the shop is most likely to be owned by her? What is her item?
What item from the shop is most likely to be owned by her?
I've got... Man. I have a general one that I think.
You counting neutrals or non-neutrals?
It's a non-neutral item. I'll help you guys.
Okay.
Feel free to just shotgun answers.
Wraith
I'm not
Pact.
keeping points. No, it's not Wraith Pact.
E-Blade.
No.
Revenant's Brooch.
Yep. Bingo.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the two
cursed,
that I was between.
The cursed brooch of a fallen guardian who stalks forever between the veil of life and death.
Oh, Jesus. She's going to love that item for some reason, which again suggests that that's meaning she's going to be a carry jammo, and a ranged one at that.
Give.
She just may be an intelligence
I don't know
carry.
why on the Dota wiki they have a recommended items build. It's Pog.
That's pretty good.
Start off with some Tangles of Quelling Blade, grab a Soul Ring, some Phase Boots, Maelstrom, Blink Dagger, BKB.
I hope Tortellini maintains that. I hope it's just based off of his builds.
Dude, that is... Dude, we already have the build. We don't even know the hero.
Yeah, I know.
This is
Somebody
nuts.
does.
Soul Ring?
Her stat gain is all 1. That's awesome.
But let's go to Dire Tide in the Battle Pass.
Dire Tide, the Battle Pass.
So it was released. We didn't talk about it last time, but it was released. So Season's Greedlings. With this, we get Dire Tide, we get the Candy Works, and then we get the Collector's Cash Vote. Let's start with the first one, Dire Tide. What do you guys think about this? Is this better, worse than the previous one?
It's exactly the opposite in the way that you're trying to load up everybody else's fountains with candies, which I think is pretty cool. The only thing, I think the mounts are kind of weird, if I'm honest. Like, having a mount in Dota just makes it feel
early game feels really weird.
Broken.
I love
it's hard to chase, dude. It's so hard to chase.
Yeah, I'll fully admit I'm one of those lifestealer abusers back when that was a thing. with the red Greevil that had the Mortimer's kisses that you could just get that ability, you could possess it, use the ability, and spam Morty kisses all over the map.
That's kind of awesome.
That is awesome. Have not tried that. Must try. I really appreciate that instead of lanes, it is everyone to the fucking middle. Just
what do you mean? I'm jungling.
Dude, you did. My first game, you played Shadow Fiend, and you're like, all right, guys, go into the jungle.
I think it worked.
We won. First thing you said after was, I don't think this hero's good in Dire Tide. But,
I mean,
yeah, I like that. I like the idea of it literally forces you to fight constantly. I like that you're not taking stuff back to your base, you're taking it to theirs, which also states, hey, we can defend this and we can fight more. I think it's better in the idea of it forces you to fight and really interact more, not just cheese and run around, kill some creeps, run back to your base and cheese it. You know what I mean?
yeah, could you imagine like Storm Spirit just like that was the issue with the old one.
Yeah.
No, I like this. I think it's fun. I like how you hide the candies in their little well, and then Rome's just like, I smell candy, and then you go win.
Speaking of candies, Candy Works, the Candy Workshop.
That was weird. It was not what I was expecting.
Yeah, I've seen it all over Reddit. I don't know too much about it.
So basically, for those of you who don't know, it is, you get candies. You can collect them through different levels of the Battle Pass. You get, I think, 5 candies a week through playing games, stuff like that. But you get 4 different types of candies. I don't know the names of them. One look like a little. They do. They have Helio Gumdrops or Helio Gumdrops. You have Stonehall Sweeties. You have Jitty Pops. You have Red Mall Twists, and then you have Silkmire Sugar String. So there's 5 of them. The way that I look at it is I have some blues, some pinks, some greens, some purples, and some reds. And with those, you create different combinations. You can get one of the 3 prizes by using those candies. For example, the ones that I have up right now is I can get the Ageless Heirloom 2022, the Immortal Treasure 1 2022, or the Tentacular Time Lord set, basically a Faceless Void set. And it says you need these certain candies in order to get it, and then I can get it. If you don't have a specific type of candy, there is an exchange. There's a custom where you give up 3 for 1, or there's different exchange rates in a way. So once you trade one, you get another different kind. In these, you might find some Dire Tide exclusives, bunch of different really cool wards and couriers,
Candy couriers,
or immortals. Or Arcanas, rather. I know Excalibur Kuda has had 2 different Arcana show up. JMO, you had an Arcana show up, didn't you? Maybe not. I have yet to find one. I also watched a video of Topson skipping over Arcana. But another way where you can get Arcanas, it's kind of cool. It feels like they're just gifting Arcanas a different way.
Makes me afraid this game is dying.
Yeah, well, not according to a recent stat that I showed that Europe is thriving in Dota. Collector's Cash vote. Did you take a look at any of this?
Oh, dude, I've already been through it. My favorite time of year is always Collector's Cash because you get to see the really cool shit come out. Like, you want to know where I'm dropping cash? It's not even on the Battle Pass. I will buy every Collector's Cash that I can. Because these have been, I don't know about any of you. I've seen some amazing sets. I've seen some dog shit sets.
Collector's Cash is where the big money sets lie.
Yeah.
My jug set that's like $500 came from Collector's Cash.
I mean, this is where all the, you get them now or you never, ever get them again.
You'll never see them again. Every single one is, fairly rare. So, yeah, they're fucking cool. What do you think about the Hentai Marcy sets?
Love it. Love everything about it.
Really?
Anime Girl Marcy. Love it.
I don't at all. I don't think it belongs in Dota.
Love it.
And
Need it.
not
Bring
in
it
the
to me.
sense of like jumping on the like bandwagon of it, but like when I look at Dota, I think we were talking about this. Like it's kind of like a World of Warcraft in a way, like type characters. And then you start getting in this cartoony shit and like weird hentai stuff that like belongs in League of Legends, not Dota.
Give me my Neko made fucking girl who's going to German suplex me. It's all that I want.
No, stop.
No.
I get cognitive dissonance when I see a bunch of different art styles being mashed together in a game. Like it doesn't feel good.
No, it
Not
looks
to mention,
really odd.
Marcy already, like, as you saw in that Goifa clip I sent you, Greco, she's a cute girl, and then all of a sudden
Look how cute she is, and then
this happens.
Then this happens, and then she just blows you the fuck up. Like, it doesn't mesh. I don't know, but there's some cool
I felt
sets.
off when they added Marcy as it was, so these sets even like push me in the direction I'm not a fan of.
Can we talk about how absolutely ridiculous all of the Primal Beast sets are?
There was one I didn't like. I don't remember which one it was, but I like the primals. The axes look really weird. I do like that there's actually a set for Kid Invoker.
It'll be the second or third set for Child Invoker.
Isn't that like so? Does that stay as is that a persona? Another persona? Or is that like a set?
No, they're releasing sets for them. Yeah.
Interesting.
The Snapfire Snail, pretty fucking awesome.
Loved it.
I thought that was awesome.
All the Ursa sets were insane, like actually insane.
Did anyone else say no? Did anyone else say no to every single Mars set because there's so many released in the?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I was like, there's been enough of those. Unfortunately, I had to say this. Every Morphling set looked like dog.
I still voted for them though.
I hated all.
I voted for every single one of them that like
doesn't
normally get sets or doesn't have sets. Also, the Tusk set, the one with the ice shards coming out of them. Fucking voted for that. That's the best looking Tusk set by far that there is.
I downvoted it.
You are scum.
You're welcome. Looks like I'm saving you. I need every bit of space I can for my Marcy sets.
But yeah, I mean, there's some
Say psych right now, or I'll TK you in PUBG.
What else is there? Play Dr. Bloodseeker is pretty cool. They also had this really dope PA set that I saw, which is like she had an axe. You remember that? It looks like real savage looking.
Yeah, there's an Octopus Doom set that's pretty cool too.
Cthulhu, dude, ain't octopus.
Yeah, whatever.
Octopus.
The Alchemist, like the ogre's the ox.
Oh yeah, dude. No, he's a Minotaur.
Cool.
It's a Minotaur,
yeah. There was one. It was a
the
set
Phoenix
that I
set?
didn't realize was an actually different Pitlord set.
Oh yeah, it looked like Tusk.
I thought it was the base set.
Magnus.
No,
it looks
I
like
literally
Magnus.
thought it was the base set.
Same. And then there's another one he has where it makes him look like Magnus.
Yeah,
and then, dude,
I don't know how base set Underlord made it in.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
There's a Naga set
that
there's a Naga set that got in that I swear to you has been in circulation on like the Dota Plus sets forever.
Oh, I still appreciate all the ones that are still being recycled from like fucking 3 times ago.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, the new Phoenix, the one with the countdown like dragon egg looks so sick.
I upvoted it for the egg. I thought the rest of it was trash.
I completely agree, but that egg is just good. Is good enough to upvote the rest.
Why don't we just get all of them?
Yeah, why not all of them?
Like
even base,
like we
even
can
base
demo
set
them
Prime.
in the game, and then we just don't get them. They're like, nah.
I mean, they'll just keep.
Get it.
I mean, they'll just keep them around for other things they need sets for, right? Like it's just free real estate.
But
I think if people are buying sets and artists are getting money, they're gonna keep churning out sets.
Yeah, there was one bristleback set, and I thought it looked like dog. There's a Bane set that makes him look like a walking like Aztec chicken, but I think it's amazing.
yeah, that's the one where I'm like, that one was fucking in the last like 3 or 4 fucking.
Yeah. Oh, there's Lion with a gun. Have any of you seen Lion with a gun?
No.
There's one where his arm is a gun, and I love it.
But
The axe set where he has that weird two-hander thing that's not an axe. It looks like something you're gonna chop up meat with. I voted for that. I want that.
Do you see Legion, but just made of nothing but knives?
Yes.
Dude, I'm sorry. Every single Primal set I love. They all make him look like a different hero.
So, bottom line, if you guys haven't checked out the Collector's Cache, obviously we are really excited about it. We think there's some really, really neat ones. I can't wait for that to actually come out.
I need to say one more, just real quick. If any of you downvote the Tiny set, I'm coming for you. And that's any one of our listeners. That set needs to be in this.
I don't think I upvoted it.
How dare you?
I upvoted it. But with that being said, that's going to wrap it up for a Dose of Sinsanity episode 30. Thank you guys for listening in. Can't wait to talk to you guys next time. Have a good night.
Upvote Marcy.
You're a fucking plink.